Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my building tutorials series. We are going to do a house, but this house isn't going to be like any normal house. We want to take advantage of the Update Aquatic mechanics, all that lovely water with fish and all that kind of malarkey. And we want to build a house that takes advantage of all of that. So we're not just going to do an aquarium or a fish tank in a house. No, we're going to turn the house into part of the ocean. So it's a house by the sea that includes the sea. You'll see what I mean when you watch. Let's just crack on with it. So the first thing we've got to do is get this little head of land in the right shape. It's so nearly there. We need to do just a little bit of terraforming and that will be perfect. So we've created ourselves a big wide platform, way bigger than we're going to need, and also a secondary platform down here, which is made out of white concrete, simply because I like the white. We're going to go for a white concrete build today because lots of people say you should use white concrete, you should use white concrete. You know what? We're going to try using white concrete. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a little set of stairs going up from this level to the upper level. So we're going to do it the right way round, up there. And that allows us to access the different levels, because this is going to be kind of a nice attractive platform upon which our happy viewer can sit and have a cup of tea whilst looking out across the ocean, and in the knowledge that there is something going on underneath, which we are going to come to in a bit. But then we've got this area here, and this area has got to be something a little bit special because this is the entire body of the build, and as a result we need to decide, okay, so where do we want this build to go? And I'm going to use again white concrete rather than quartz because it gives a straighter finish, and we are going to replace this sandstone, I think, because it's not going to be in keeping with the build as we want it. So first off, we're just going to surround ourselves with a bit of a wall, and this wall is going to be essentially the outer edge of this part of the building. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what's that effectively given us is 2 9 by 9 squares. I do like to go on a 9 by 9 basis, and then we're going to come this way. Now these aren't necessarily going to be blocks that we keep, but we're going to have them for now. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to come in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then across this way 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There we go. So this is going to be the shape of our house. You can see it's a nice L shape. We're going to do something with this area as well. And the next thing we're going to do is, again, on a temporary basis, we're going to build across this wall. It's not going to stay built. We're going to leave the 2 steps open there, and then we're going to have that closed off to the end. We then need to decide, where are we going to have our front entrance? Well, in this build, our front entrance is actually going to be on the first floor, which means we've got the opportunity to do whatever we want on this front floor. And I like, with these sorts of builds, to get some glass in. In fact, this needs to be almost completely glass. So we're going to get some white stained glass because it's in keeping with the concrete. And we're going to come all the way around so it is in line with that edge there. So let's just get rid of that one. That should be in line with that. Yep. And then we're going to come across and give a second level. Now it's white, which is going to imply there's going to be quite a lot of whiteness on this house, and you would be right, but we are also going to contrast that. Perfect. Now we're going to get more concrete. Bear in mind, this isn't necessarily going to stay concrete. We're going to come up 2 on each side, and then we're going to come along the top of this glass with the concrete. Excellent. And then this wall is going to be a wall with a window in it. We're going to come out 2, we're going to leave 1, 2, 3, then we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to build up 3 high, leaving this gap in the middle. Then, as you'd expect, for something that's got an amazing view across the ocean, we're going to have another window. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's count that again with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring out a corner, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then create that as a wall. That can come as a wall. This can come as a wall, like that. So you can see this is how we're building the house up. We've got plenty of glass. We've got lots of glass on that side. We've got less glass on this side. In fact, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and stick a little bit of glass there as well. And then wherever you've got wall, build it up. And in the gaps, get yourself some glass. In that window, just have 2 high, because we're going to come across with that. But on this side, like on the other 2 sides over there, make this 3 high. Perfect. Then on these windows here, where we've got only 2 high, bring yourself across another strut of concrete. Here, we've got an opening that we don't need to be any bigger really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the doors. That's going to be a trim, therefore we need to come across like that. Okay, so that is the inside of the first floor. So you can see here we have covered up that wall with white concrete. It looks very white and bland at the moment. It won't stay that way. And then inside we are taking out this floor and we are replacing it with red concrete. The white and red contrast is excellent. It works really, really well. You don't have to have it red. If you wanted it a darker colour, dark colours work excellently. Browns and blacks work beautifully. Try and stay away from blues and yellows. They clash, they don't quite work, but reds, browns, blacks are perfect. So let's get this bit done. The carpet is in, so we need to create the entrance level. So the first thing we need to do is build up this wall 1 more around the edge. And you're thinking, I know, but Avomance, we have got nowhere for the second floor entrance to actually come in. And you're not wrong, at the moment we haven't, but that's okay because we are going to create that area. I'm going to come along here and we're going to make this ever so slightly thicker, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create another external space, and it's going to come off of here. And so what we need to do is come on this edge here. I'm going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to come out another 9. So that with this being 1, we're going to come out 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're just going to square that off. And then fill it in so as we've got a complete floor. Like that. Now don't you worry, we are not going to be leaving that like that. Oh no, no, we are not. That would not do at all. That is going to end up being supported. We do respect gravity in Minecraft, but what it does give us the opportunity to do is bring ourselves a first floor entrance up on this side. We're not going to do that just yet, but that's the idea. And inside here, this is the internal space, and this at the moment is an external space, and we're going to keep it that way. This is going to be open to the elements, but it's going to be a nice kind of entrance way, and I think it's going to look fantastic. Then okay, over the corner I want you to place a block there so you don't lose it, a block there so you don't lose it, then come in at 1, 2, 3, and on here 1, 2, and 3, leaving a single gap. Then bring this all around. So we've got a corner of 1, 2, 3, a bit like we have over in that corner there. Leave a gap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then come all the way across to that wall. Come around. Get a little corner there. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then come all the way along. Jump that gap because that's going to be a tall window. Come around the edge because that's going to be a tall window. Come there. Tick the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and tick another corner. So this is going to be the shape of the second floor. So then we need to build that up even further, so as it is 4 high again. So this being 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then just fill that up all around the edges. And I'll be back when that's done. So we've completed the sides. We've got massive windows. We've got a rather oddly shaped mezzanine floor along that side, and it's deliberately sweeping. It looks a bit odd now, but it will look better, I promise you. We've got a support now on our external area there, and we're just going to close off the top, not entirely, but a little bit. We're going to come across this section here, and then we're going to come again 9 out, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and complete another, one short there, look. We're going to come along and complete the square. Like that, and then fill in that roof. So that is that section there. It's got like a nice classic kind of question mark shape coming across there. And what we're going to do, we are going to fill in this roof now along the edge, not entirely, but almost entirely, by coming up one more level all the way around, and then coming in one. So we've got the beginnings of kind of an inward section, but we're not doing any more than that just at the moment, because we need to create something here. We're going to start to build up this outer area first before we build up the house anymore. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a ring of stained glass all the way around the edge of this, because what we don't want is any drowns to come up from under the water where you're having your cocktail and just spoiling your day. We're going to block them all off so they can't get anywhere near us. So that's perfect. And then we're going to get a platform. I thought I already had. I'm going to get it now. We're going to get dark oak slabs here, and we're going to create a little walkway that comes all the way around, including here. Like that. We're going to wrap that around a little bit further, and then we're going to continue it here, level with the before we hit the first step, so there, except it needs to be level with that, and it comes out 2, and that will allow us to walk up and down the stairs happily. Any closer and it wouldn't let you do it. Then we're going to come and get that all the way to the edge of the house. That's perfect, and then we're going to come out another 2. When you hit the gap, cross it, and then keep going all the way to the end. Like that. Now what we do need to do is we need to achieve having this supported. We're going to do the support in a moment, because we can't have that just hanging up in the air. That would not do at all. But we'll come back to that in a moment. What we do want to do, however, is we want to make sure we've got, in exactly the same way as we have on the bottom floor, a row of stained glass, giving us a nice edge, and also stopping us falling to our deaths when we fall off the edge, because that wouldn't be any good either. Leave that open for now. We'll come and do something with that in just a moment. So that's starting to come together nicely. We've still got a bit of work to do there, but it is starting to get there. We're going to do something a little bit special around here. Don't you go anywhere, because we're going to be doing that towards the end of the video. So what we now need to do is create the entranceway, which is on the first floor. Now again, in exactly the same way as we did around the back, we are going to create ourselves an edge all the way around this section with this dark grey stained glass. And that gives us kind of a nice mezzanine level, but we are going to be creating our entrance here, remember. This is where we're coming up, and we're going to be coming up here along this big flat edge. And the way we're going to do it is, again, first off, by giving ourselves a little bit of room, because we haven't got enough room here. So let's just take out some of this, not quite terraformed enough. There we go. So now we need to decide, where are we going to actually enter this section? And I think the best way of doing that is by deciding where you want to start your stairs. Now I want my stairs to come in one from the edge, like that. And we're going to come up like that. Like that. And there. And there. And you can see that naturally tells us that this area here is where we're going to be entering. So we need to get, again, our dark oak slabs and create a little platform there where the dark oak slabs are going to be giving us entrance to the top. We don't have to do anything with the edges of that glass. It works beautifully. In fact, what we can do is extend the glass along there so as we've got kind of an open entranceway. I like the idea now of coming out one step further like that and then completing the glass all the way around. It just feels that little bit safer, frankly. And then what I am going to do, I'm going to get dark oak fence, and that dark oak fence is going to act as our support. So we're going to have there, 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 and there, 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 and there. And then what we need to do is we need to get ourselves another slab, because that ain't touching and it just don't look right. So there we go. So we've got a nice entranceway there. We're going to jazz it up again a little bit more in a minute, don't you worry, by putting in some different support around these steps so they look just a little bit more natural. But that is the way we're going to get in and out of our house. So it comes up straight in and into this strange mezzanine level. Now what we do need to do is create a way to get down from this mezzanine level, and that is what we're going to do next. We have made some additions. We've got a nice black trim just to give it that real modern look and take the edge off of that whiteness. We've edged everything around and we've started to finish off the roof. We've given some additional legs to these steps, and we've also given an edge to the step as well. Now what we're going to do is we are going to finish off the roof. That's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to bring this out like this. We're going to continue using white concrete. Now the main reason for that is when you add something like quartz on top of white concrete, it looks, believe it or not, too white, because white concrete isn't entirely white. It's kind of an off-white grey colour, and that's not really a good mix for the very, very whiteness, that's a lot of whites, of the quartz. But I think it works okay. It would be good if there was a concrete slab. That would actually be a really nice and interesting building block to work with. But at the moment we're going to have to live with these full blocks. But I think it looks okay. It looks nice from the inside. It also looks nice from the outside. And there we go. So that is the finished edge of the roof of this building. Now there's still some work to do here, but what I want to do now is I want to come down and start to identify some opportunities with this area, because that's the next exciting part. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to create a descent that runs the entire length of this area. We may well put some of this concrete slabbage back. Now what I mean by a descent is basically we're going to put a block there, a block there, a block there, a block there, and we're going to just do that until we get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deep, like that. So that's the 6 deep one. Don't let the sand fall on your head. And then we're going to come and do exactly the same at the other end. So we've got one block in, and then that block becomes that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to take all of these blocks in the middle away. And we should find that we're on the same level, which we have, so we've done it right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trim up this side with more white concrete. It's an extremely white build, this one. There we go, so that's perfect. We've got ourselves a nice set of steps that go down there now. We are separated between the water and this area simply by one block. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a glass block it's important that it's a glass block, and ideally we want it as a clear glass block like that, although some people may prefer a stained glass block, and if you prefer that, that's absolutely fine. We could go for a white stained glass block. Let's try that and see how it looks. And what I want you to do is, one block at a time, replace these blocks, and do it quickly or you're going to get flooded like that. And this is the problem when you do it with sand, of course, because the sand just falls down and creates an hole like that. And you just want to be just a little bit more persistent. Allow for the sand to get in the way if you've got sand problems like I have, but fill in every block with glass. That's brilliant. So now you have a choice. You can either go out and match up these blocks around the glass so as they are also the same white concrete. I'm going to do that just because there's the visibility of it. No, that's a slab. We don't want to do that. So we're just going to change these slabs under the glass so the visible slab is white concrete as well. Just makes for a better effect when you're inside that step-in area. There we go. So if we now come back inside, you can see when we go down, we can look out and we can see what's going on outside. I did put a conduit down there just to give a little bit better vision. So I think that makes a big difference. And then you have the benefit of looking out above the water and then coming down and looking out below the water, with the only danger to you being falling in as you walk along here. So we are going to avoid that problem by sticking a row of glass all the way along, and that acts as a nice ramp, so you can come along and down you go. Perfect. And I thought what I'd do is I'd stop before I put too much detail on. Now we've created a really nice stripy lawn just by using two different colours of clay, just dark green and light green clay. Dead easy in a stripe. It looks like it's got one of those stripy lawns like off of posh places. We've put some chairs, one where we've got a little table, we've got some lighting. We've created a dark oak deck that goes literally the entire width all the way around the entire build. We've got more leafy blocks so as we can just put a little bit of colour into it. We've placed some seating area out here so people can look out across the sea, and we also, if you can see here, have put a little bit of lighting underneath that there so that we've got some more light to be able to see out, because otherwise it's going to be incredibly dark. We've put little window ledges on, and that is a relatively basic build. I'm literally going to leave it there to allow you people to do what you want with it, because what we don't want to do is end up with something that's too complicated and makes it more difficult to adapt. There you have one modern house build, but with a very special ingredient, which is an under the water viewing system that goes from above the water to under the water in one lovely sweep. They're dead easy to make. Now you could redesign the house itself in any way you wanted. If you wanted more S shapes and glass or more coloured trim, you go for your life. I've left the detailing really quite open for you to do however it is you would like your house, so it's in keeping with the environment. If you've enjoyed this video, please do make sure to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying this kind of thing, and I'll keep on making it. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.